Hey there, everybody, and welcome to the weekly coaching recap where I take the highlights from the open coaching and mentorship call over in Misfit to Maverick and distill them down into this 10-ish minute video. During these calls, members of Misfit to Maverick get to come in for one-on-one support with me in a small group setting. And over the course of the call, we collect big insights on digital post-its over on Jamboard. So that's what I'll be referencing for today's video. If you are a member of Misfit to Maverick, please post your big takeaways, follow-up questions, anything you want to learn more about in the comments below. And if you are watching this on my YouTube channel, thanks for being here. Like and subscribe, pass it on, and also share your comments down below. I would love to hear what you hear in it. So I'm going to try and be really actionable today and give you some things that you can actually start doing now. The first one is, if you are considering creating some kind of workshop, so one of the ideas I love to teach is called date, time, place, and a yes. Essentially what that means is that what might get you into action is actually setting a date, a time, and a place, either a local place, your living room, or a Zoom room, for a conversation you want to host, a workshop you'd like to run, a conversation you'd like to facilitate. Perhaps it's just like a listening circle where you invite people to share into the room in a safe space where they know they're going to be heard. I think there's this perception that to run something like that, like a 60-minute workshop, you have to be presenting for the full 60 minutes. And the suggestion I have for you and that I had for the coach on the call is that it is actually not that hard. You can seed a conversation with just one question. So maybe when you open up those 60 minutes, particularly if you're kind of like, I just want to hear what others have to say, I don't want it to be just about me, you open up the room by saying, thank you so much for coming. You share maybe your intentions, why you invited them to join you. You can let them in on your values if you know that. It's really great to kind of let people know the energy that you want to bring into the space. And then ask one question. Ask one question. Say, so I'd love to know what comes up for you when I mention the word blank, whatever that word is for you. Maybe it's diet, maybe it's exercise, maybe it's stress, maybe it's work, whatever your theme is, start with that question and then just wait. Just wait. And with almost 100% certainty, someone is willing to go first. And so that was one of the takeaways from the call, is that creating a container for people to show up in is not difficult. You can start with one question and then you can listen more than you talk, which is actually really inspiring. And you're going to get a ton of ideas out of that. It's almost like a group-wide conversation project, which is always really fun. The second thing that I wanted to share with you is if you are in Misfit to Maverick, you are working with your strengths. So there's a lot of questions that come up with strengths. If you're not yet in Misfit to Maverick and you haven't done your strengths, that is a class that I love teaching. Reach out and I will tell you about that next opportunity. But don't forget that your strengths are, when you're working within your strengths, everything is more easy, it's more enjoyable, it's more sustainable, it's more energizing, and your strengths are what your clients most need. And the next step to that is, like, if the person doesn't need your strength, they might not be your best client. And one of the examples we talked about is adaptability. So I'm very high in adaptability. It's one of my fuel strengths, meaning that I coach very much to the present moment. I coach the person, not the project. I'm very easygoing. Achiever actually is my number 34 strength. It's on the very bottom. And how I have seen adaptability show up in my coaching is that sometimes my clients are also high in adaptability and they are looking for someone who's going to reflect that back to them. And so they feel seen and heard, and where we can really jam out on cool, how is adaptability an asset in our work? How can adaptability be a strength that you bring into your coaching? I have also worked with clients who are high in achiever, right? They're high in kind of my contrasting theme. And what they're looking for is a partner that's going to be able to kind of be a balm to their particular strength, right? So you might, if let's say you're analytical, your clients probably want someone who's going to help them think through all of the pieces. So I just invite you to think about your strengths in very actionable, tangible, intentional ways. That's what actually makes your natural talents a strength. Your natural talents are what you do without even thinking about it. They become a strength when you use them on purpose, when you are intentional about them. And so revisit them often and trust that you can bring your strengths into your work, and it's going to make for just an incredibly compelling coaching partnership with the person who needs it. Oh, this one is so good. Okay. Here's an idea. If you've seen my talk about like the niching compass, all right, I talk about how you are at the center of it, and more often than not, attention is given towards the east, which is who it is that you want to help. There is a lot of talk out there about who is it you want to help, what is the problem that they have, what journey do they want to go on. A lot of talk about niche over here. I call it the who section. And I'm not minimizing the importance of that direction or how exciting it can be when you get really clear on what's in that space. But if you're not motivated by that, if you're like, I don't exactly know who it's for yet, it could be for so many different people, it solves lots of problems, I invite you to turn your attention to the West, which is how you do your work. And in the West is what I call your coaching experience. Coaching is wildly creative. You can make it kind of whatever you'd like. Coaching is like cooking. There's no one right way. There's so many different styles, and you over time and practice are going to be able to carve out and find your unique special sauce in the coaching industry. And one of the ways to do that is to create a coaching experience that you are super excited about. And one of the ways to do that is to combine your interests into one coaching experience. I learned this idea and I love talking to Alex Baisley about this idea. He talks about really making sure that your lifestyle is accounted for when you are developing and evolving your coaching work. And you can craft a coaching experience that brings together multiple interests. So on the call today, one of the coaches loves dance. Like her identity is as a dancer. She loves leading dance breaks. She thinks dance is just a portal towards self-discovery and healing. And she said, you know what? The more I think about it, the more I feel like my identity as a dancer is going to be a part of my coaching. And I was like, yes, bring that interest of dancing into the experience that you create. So maybe she creates a coaching experience, a workshop, a session, a series of sessions where dancing is a part of that container that she's going to create. This is where I have loved to play for many, many years. I have created tons of coaching experiences based on what I'm most interested in. So I've combined walking and listening, and I called it the listening walks. I've combined really enjoying eating good food and having conversations, and it was called Coach and Dine, right? Where I kind of like teamed up with a local chef. It was this whole thing. It was super fun. I love camping in the outdoors, and I love conversations. So I created a campfire coaching retreat. I created those experiences not really thinking about who they'd be the right fit for, but super excited to design them. And when you create something that you love, when you throw a party that you want to go to, you want to invite people to participate. So what do you already love? What are you interested in? And can you bring those interests into a coaching experience that you then invite people to participate in? Because it's awesome. So I just want to validate that that's an incredible place to start. And actually someone put on the post-it, they say, what if a coaching experience as your niche? So good. Can I fit one more in the last minute that we've got? Just that I'm going to reinforce that working with your strengths, understanding your strengths, bringing them into your work, developing as a coach, building your own coaching practice is a slow burn. It is a long game. And I will tell you what, it's messy. I'm really leaning into this idea that the minute we decide that we want to have our own coaching practice, we enter what I'm starting to call like the messy middle. And that's not a problem. Maybe just saying it, maybe just saying like, hey, it's really messy right now, and it could be for a while, will help us move through it just with a a spirit of fun and adventure and willingness to experiment. That when we know it's messy, it's not so challenging. I think oftentimes the challenge for coaches is that we were told it should be a lot easier. It's marketed as being just this easy profession to like step into and bring to life. And then when we're in it, we're like, wait a minute, no one told me about this stuff. I thought this was going to be easy. It's messy. And that's okay, because we're doing it together, right? I've been at this for almost a decade now. So I know what this experience is like, and I just want to let you know that you are not alone in how you are feeling and experiencing the true adventure of being a coach and building your own practice. So, hope you've heard something helpful in this. I'm reaching the 11-minute mark. Thank you again for watching. Like and share if you're on YouTube. Comment and ask follow-up questions over in Misfit to Maverick. You can also check out Misfit to Maverick on the link below if you're, again, watching on YouTube. And thank you so much. I'll see you next week.